Hello and welcome. I'm Kate. This session is brought to you by Healium Hot Yoga West Allis, Tendril Yoga in partnership with the West Allis Fire Department. For the next 45 minutes, we'll start with grounding, breathing, and then move into a physical practice that's focused on the shoulders. Whether you're brand new to yoga or a pro, we've got you covered. If you haven't already, please grab yoga blocks, a strap, blanket, or anything else that will make you comfortable for your practice today. If you don't have access to props, no worries, we've got you covered. We will offer modifications without props along the way. If you enjoy this practice, please check out the other videos available in this series or come visit us live at the Healium Hot Yoga Studio, West Allis. Hi, I'm here with Sarah, who will be demonstrating modifications, and Amy, who you can follow along with for our practice today. We're going to get started in a resting position on our backs. So finding a comfortable position on your back. If you need any support for the low back, bend through the knees, soles of the feet to the earth. Otherwise, arms extended long, legs extended long as well. Allow the eyes shut down. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let that go. Arriving here onto your mat, arriving to your practice, and arriving to your space. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you. Start to release tension from the whole body, especially the shoulders, the neck and jaw. And start to tune into your breath. Maybe noticing how the breath is feeling. And let's begin to belly breathe. Wherever you're at in your breath cycle, empty everything out completely. Allow the mouth to close. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Let the belly fill, ribs expand, chest rises. Hold the breath at the top. And then exhale slowly through the nose, pulling the abdomen in towards the spine. Nice job, guys. Now just continue with this belly breathing. Moving at your pace. Filling with each inhale. Emptying with each exhale. And just a reminder, you can belly breathe at any point you're feeling stressed. Finishing one last belly breath here. And then slowly starting to find some movement, letting the head shake side to side. Maybe move the tongue around in the mouth. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Roll wrists, roll ankles. We're going to bring those knees in towards the chest. Option to interlace those hands around the shins or just wrap those fingers around your shins. And then just notice how the back is feeling. It might feel nice to for a little rock side to side here. Massaging that low back into the mat. And then bringing those knees back through center, lowering the soles of the feet to the earth. Hip width distance, about 1 foot's length away from the sit bones. Arms are alongside the body. Walk those shoulder blades in towards one another and release the upper back to the mat. On your next inhale, start to lift those hips towards the ceiling. Those knees come over the ankles. Activate those glutes. And as you exhale, lower those hips back down. 3 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Nice work, guys. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. On your next inhale, let's lift and hold our bridge pose. Weight is on the back of those shoulders, back arms, squeezing those glutes. Knees are in line with the hips. If you notice that your knees are splaying towards the outer edges of your mat, see if you can squeeze them back in towards the midline. Lift those hips just a little higher, bringing that chest towards the chin, and give me one more full breath in. Full breath out. Slowly lowering down one vertebra at a time until those hips come down last. Nice job, guys. From here, bring those arms to a T or cactus, and then lift those lower those soles of feet back down, lift the hips, shift them over to the left, and then drop those knees over to the right. Stack that left knee on top of right, keep those shoulders grounded here, and if the neck is feeling good today, take that gaze over to the left side as you come into this reclined twist. Taking 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, bring those knees back through center, realign that spine. And then when you're ready, lifting the hips, shifting them over to the right, the knees drop over to the left. Right knee can stack on top of left. Arms are to a T or cactus, and keep those shoulders grounded. Feeling a nice stretch in that outer right hip and glute. A little twist through the abdomen as you open through the chest. Gaze can go right if the neck is feeling good. And just breathe. Take one last breath here. And on your next inhale, bring those knees back through center. Realign that spine. We're going to bring those knees in towards the chest. Option to rock and roll up and down the spine here. Otherwise, rolling off to one side, we're meeting in a tabletop position. When you're ready, cross at those ankles, find hands and knees, coming into our tabletop. Shoulders are over wrists. You spread those 10 fingers wide. Hips come over the knees. Take a nice deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, press the mat away. Bring the chin to chest, round through spine all the way to the tailbone, finding your cat pose. On an inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, tilt the tailbone towards the sky. Exhale takes you into cat, rounding through the back. Inhale takes you into cow, opening up through the front side body. Take 4 more rounds at your pace with your breath. Taking time here to wake and warm up the spine. Finish your last round here. And let's meet back in that neutral spine. Bringing those knees wide, press the hips back towards the heel, bring your torso between the thighs, forehead comes down to the mat. If you need a little more support for that low back, option to walk those knees in towards one another and maybe let those hands reach to the back of the mat, finding your child's pose. Take 3 to 5 breaths here. From here, we're going to rise up into a tabletop position, coming onto hands and knees, bringing those shoulders over wrists, hips are over knees. Let's bring that right arm to a T, and on an inhale, reach those right fingers high. As you exhale, thread the needle, look over that left shoulder, feel rotation in the spine. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, right fingers reach, heart opens. Exhale, thread the needle, hover and hold. 1 more time. Inhale, reach right fingers high. Exhale, thread the needle. This time, come down to that right shoulder, right cheek. You have the option to keep that left hand as is. Maybe you walk those left fingertips towards the top of your mat. Or if you're working to open up through that left shoulder, option for a half bind, bringing the top of that left hand to the low back, peeling that left shoulder open, and taking some nice deep breaths here. Little mini inversion. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. One last breath here. Plant that left hand, unthread that right arm, reach it high on an inhale. And as you exhale, right hand plants towards the mat. Let's take that on the other side. Left arm comes to a T. Inhale, reach those fingers high. As you exhale, look over that right shoulder, thread the needle, rotation of the spine. Inhale, reach, open your heart. Exhale, thread the needle, hover and hold. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle, come down to that left shoulder, left cheek, and take that option for the right hand. Walking those fingertips towards the top of your mat, taking that half bind, and breathing here as you peel that right shoulder open. One more breath. And then planting that right hand, unthread that left arm, reach it high in an inhale. And then as you exhale, left hand meets the mat. Coming into our puppy pose, walk those arms to a 45-degree angle. Keep those hips directly over the knees as you start to sink your chest towards the earth. You might be able to bring the chin down to the mat. Forehead works just as well too. A nice deep stretch for the shoulders, underarms. Breathing here in through the nose and out through the nose. One last breath. And right from here, we're going to take it down onto the belly. Lowering down onto the belly. Chest lowers down to the mat. And then bring those hands alongside the rib cage. Start to zip those legs up. And then start to activate them. Engaging the muscles, squeezing them onto the bone. Activate those glutes. And then roll those shoulders back. Squeeze those elbows in towards the body. Take a nice deep inhale. Start to lift for a cobra pose. Neck stays in line with spine. Exhale, slowly lower that down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Legs and glutes are active. Exhale, lower. Nice work, guys. Last one, we hold. Inhale, lift and hold. Activate those legs. Activate the glutes. Give me one more full breath in. Full breath out. Slowly lower down. And then from here, push back through your tabletop position. Curl those toes under and start to float those hips high, coming into your down dog. Taking some time here once you arrive to maybe paddle out through those legs. Bend into the knees as you press into those heels, feeling a nice stretch through the back of the legs. You can shake that head yes, shake that head no. And then making sure you're spreading those 10 fingers wide, distributing that weight evenly between both arms. Press your chest towards your thighs, bringing your ears in line with your arms, lifting those armpits away from the mat. Sit bones lift towards the ceiling as you sink through those heels. They don't need to touch. Micro bend in those knees if needed. And take a few breaths here. Let's bring that gaze towards the top of your mat and start to walk those feet there, coming into a forward fold. Keep a generous bend in those knees. You can let that belly rest on top of the thighs, chest on the knees, crown reaches towards the earth. Options here to grab opposite elbows, take a little sway side to side. Maybe bring the hands to the back of the neck, helping to bring that crown closer to the earth. Great time to check in with those hamstrings. Check in with that low back. And on your next inhale, hands can be on the mat, block, or shins. Find a half lift. Inhale. Back is flat, core is engaged. And as you exhale, fold back in. From here, start to tuck that chin towards the chest and then slowly start to round through the spine. One vertebra at a time. Head comes up last. Roll those shoulders towards the ears and then down the back, finding that mountain pose. On your next inhale, reach those arms overhead. As you exhale, find a forward fold. Lead with the chin, lead with the chest. Inhale into your half lift, hands on the mat, block, or shins. Reach through the crown. Exhale, fold back in. Ground through those heels. Inhale, reach those arms overhead. As you exhale, come back to your mountain pose. One more time. Inhale, reach and lengthen. As you exhale, find a forward fold. Lead with chin, lead with chest. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root through the feet, round through the spine. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, mountain pose. From mountain, inhale, reach those arms overhead. And as you exhale, take those hands to the low back. Option for a bind here. Interlace those hands, right thumb comes on top. Lift your heart on an inhale. And as you exhale, lead with chin, lead with chest, bend through the knees, find your forward fold. Nice job, guys. Release that bind. Inhale, half lift, hands on the mat, block, or shins. And then exhale, plant those hands, step back to a plank position. Shoulders over wrists. Press the heart between the shoulder blades. Draw that navel in towards the spine and activate those legs, squeezing the muscles onto the bone as you press back through those heels. Give me one more full breath in. Full breath out. You can lower through knees, chest, chin, or lower through hover plank all the way down to the belly. Tops of the feet press into the mat. Inhale, lift for that cobra. Legs and glutes are active. Exhale, lower. From here, push back through table, curled toes under, float hips high, down dog. Walk those feet towards the hands, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, back is flat, core is engaged. Exhale, fold back in. Root the feet, rise the arms. Exhale, find your mountain pose. Inhale, lengthen, arms come overhead. As you exhale, hands to the low back, option for that bind. Again, left thumb comes on top, interlace those fingers, always the option for a strap. Inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, lead with chin, lead with chest, generous bend in those knees, coming into your forward fold. Release that bind, plant those hands, step that left foot back, right foot back, find your plank position. Shoulders are over wrists. Draw that navel in towards the spine and give me one more full breath in. Full breath out. Come into your hover plank. Lower down to the belly. Inhale, press into the tops feet, lift for your cobra. Exhale, lower. Push back through table. Curl toes under. Lift hips high, down dog. On your next inhale, reach and lengthen that right heel high. Hips and shoulders are squared to the mat. As you exhale, right foot steps between the hands. Right knee is over right ankle. core is engaged. From here, we glide it forward on an inhale. As you exhale, lift those hips, straighten those legs, glide it back. 2 more, knee tracks over the ankle, heart lifts. As you exhale, lift the hips, nose towards knee. 1 more round. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, lift the hips, glide it back. Bring that right knee over right ankle. Brace the core. Rise, high crescent lunge. Hips and shoulders are squared to the top of your mat. Lengthen through the back of that left leg, lifting the back of that left knee towards the ceiling. Nice work, guys. Give me 1 more full breath in. Full breath out. Frame that right foot. Right foot steps back to down dog. We'll take that on the left side. Inhale, lengthen that left heel high. As you exhale, that left foot steps between the hands, left knee over left ankle. Right leg is long and strong. We find that movement. On an inhale, glide it forward, lift the heart, knee stays behind toes. As you exhale, lift the hips, nose towards knees, straighten the legs. 2 more times. Inhale, knee tracks over that ankle, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips, nose towards knee. 1 more round. Inhale, glide it forward. Exhale, glide it back. Left knee tracks over left ankle. Bracing that core, arms rise by ears. Find your high crescent lunge. 1 more breath here. Back to your runner's lunge, framing that left foot. Left foot steps back to meet right, down dog. We'll do that 1 more time each side. Inhale, reach and lengthen that right heel high. Exhale, right foot steps between the hands, knee over ankle. Inhale, glide it forward. Exhale, lift the hips, glide it back. Just 1 time this round. Right knee over right ankle. On your next inhale, brace that core, arms rise by ears. Take 1 full breath in. Full breath out. Frame that right foot. Right foot steps back to meet left, down dog. Left side, inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, left foot steps between the hands. 1 time, inhale, we glide forward. Exhale, lift the hips, glide it back. Left knee over left ankle. Engage that core. Rise through the torso. High crescent lunge. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Find that runner's lunge. Frame that left foot. Left foot steps back to right. Down dog. Great job, guys. All right, from here, we'll start a warrior flow. Lengthen that right heel high on your inhale. As you exhale, that right foot steps between the hands. Right knee is over right ankle, and then lower onto that left knee. Left top of foot is flat. Let's start by bringing those hands to that right knee, pressing that right knee away. Get a nice stretch here, feeling a lengthening through that left hip flexor, left quadricep. If you want a little more here, option to reach those arms overhead, maybe bringing that gaze towards the ceiling, lengthening through the spine. We're going to have a little option for a shoulder opener if you'd like. You can grab a strap. Otherwise, reach those fingers on your inhale. As you exhale, take those hands to the low back. Right thumb comes on top, interlace those fingers. And on an inhale, lift your heart, squeezing those inner thighs towards one another, helping with your balance here, lifting through that chin. 1 more breath. Gently release that bind, bring those arms overhead. Frame that right foot. Curl those left toes under. Lift that left knee off the mat. Brace that core. Rise for a high crescent lunge. Hips and shoulders are square. Give me 1 more breath. We open into a warrior 2. Drop that left heel. Open through those arms. Taking a moment to set that foundation. That front heel is dissecting that back foot. Hips and shoulders are squared to that left side mat. Gaze over that right hand. Press that right knee towards right pinky toe. Give me one more breath here. On your next inhale, reverse your warrior. Legs stay exactly as they are. Reach that right arm up and back. And as you exhale, side angle. Right elbow, right knee, left arm alongside left ear. You're putting a little weight on that right elbow, on that right knee. Peel that left shoulder open. Ground through the outer edge of that left foot and breathe. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame that right foot. Step back to your plank position. Knees, chest, and chin, or hover plank. Lower to the belly. Find your cobra. Inhale. Exhale, lower that down. Curl toes under. Press through hands and knees. Float hips high. Down dog. Let's take that on the left side. Left heel, inhale. Exhale, left foot steps between the hands. Left knee over left ankle, and then lower down onto this right knee. Right top of foot is flat. Start by bringing those hands onto the knees, rising through the torso. Maybe you press that left knee away, getting a nice stretch on that right side hip flexor and quad. If you want a little more here, reach those arms overhead. Nice work. We'll take that shoulder opener. If you need to use a strap, grab it. And then inhale, reach and lengthen those fingers. As you exhale, interlace those hands to the low back, left thumb on top. Lift your heart on an inhale. And then exhale, hold and breathe. On your next inhale, reach, lengthen those arms overhead. As you exhale, frame that left foot. Curl the right toes under. Lift that right knee off the mat, finding your runner's lunge. Brace that core as you rise through the torso. High crescent lunge, squaring those hips and shoulders, lifting through the back of that right knee. Open into your warrior two. Drop that right heel. Open those arms, and then take a moment setting that foundation. Left heel is dissecting that right foot. Your shoulders and hips are squared to your right side mat. Take some nice deep breaths here. Soft gaze over that left hand. Inhale, reverse. Reach that left arm up and back. And as you exhale, side angle. Left elbow to left knee. Right arm alongside right ear. Grounding through the outer edge of that right foot. Little weight on that left elbow, on that left thigh. Peel that right shoulder open. One more breath. Inhale, reverse. Legs stay as they are. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame that left foot. Find that runner's lunge. Left foot steps back to meet right. Plank position. Hover plank or knees, chest, and chin. Lower to the belly. Inhale for your cobra. Back bend. Legs and glutes active. Exhale, lower. Push back through table. Curl toes under. Down dog. Nice work, guys. One more time each side. Right heel reaches high on an inhale. Exhale, right foot steps between the hands. Knee over ankle, lower left knee. Inhale, bring those hands to that right knee. Exhale, sink into the hips. Stay here, reach those arms by ears. Inhale. This time, as you exhale, interlace those hands at the low back. Use that strap if needed. Right thumb on top. Lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Inhale, release. Arms rise by ears. Exhale, frame that right foot. Curl left toes under. Lift that left knee off the mat. Inhale, rise. High crescent lunge. Exhale, hold. Inhale, open. Warrior two. Exhale, hold. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, take it into your side angle. Right elbow, right thigh. Left arm, left ear. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel hands to frame that left foot. Find that runner's lunge. Step to your plank. Knees, chest, and chin or hover plank. Find your back bend, cobra. Exhale, lower. Push back through table. Curl toes under. Float hips high. Down dog. Left side. Inhale, lengthen that left heel high. Exhale, left foot steps between the hands. Left knee over left ankle. Lower that right knee. Right top of foot is flat. Hands come to that left thigh. And then sink into those hips as you press that left knee forward. Inhale, arms rise overhead. As you exhale, option to open those shoulders. Grab that strap if needed. Left thumb on top this round. Lift your heart on that inhale. Exhale, hold, sink in. Release that bind. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, frame that left foot. Curl right toes under. Lift that right knee off the mat. Engage that core. Find your high crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Open for your warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, find your side angle. Left elbow, left knee. Right arm, right ear. Inhale, reverse, legs stay as they are. Exhale, cartwheel the hands. Frame that left foot. Step back to your plank. Knees, chest, and chin or hover plank. Down to the belly. Inhale your back bend. Exhale, lower. Push back push back into a child's pose. Open those knees wide. Press the hips back towards the heels. Torso between the thighs. Forehead comes down to the mat. Let's make our way into a down dog. Rising up onto hands and knees. Curl toes under. Float the hips high. Coming into your down dog. Bring that gaze towards the top of the mat. Start to walk your feet there. Coming into a forward fold. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, fold back in. Root the feet, rise the arms. Inhale. And as you exhale, sink back into a chair pose, bending through those knees, weights in the heels, sit back through those sit bones. If this is too much for those shoulders, bring those hands to heart center. Weight comes into those heels, draw that navel in towards the spine, neutral pelvis, and breathe. 5 breaths here, in through the nose, and out through the nose. Maybe sinking deeper with each breath. Activating those glutes, activating those quads. Nice work, guys. One more full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, reach, lengthen, and rise. And then as you exhale, sink back into that chair pose once more, preparing for our eagle pose. Weight comes into that right or left foot. Lift that right leg up and over that left knee. Tuck those toes or don't. Maybe use a block. And then that right arm comes under left. Find your eagle arms. If this is not accessible to you, grab those shoulder heads and bring those elbows in height with the shoulders. Press that heart between the shoulder blades. Get a nice stretch for that upper back. And then find a focal point and breathe. Nice work, guys. One more full breath here. And then gently release. Inhale, reach those arms overhead. Exhale, sink back into that chair pose once more. We'll take that on the left side. Weight is in that right foot. Left leg lifts up and over that right leg. Tuck the toes or don't. Maybe use a block. Find those eagle arms. Left arm under right. Shoulder heads also an option. Lifting those elbows in line with the shoulders. Finding that focal point. Sinking into those sit bones. And breathe. One more breath here. Gently unwind, reach those arms overhead, inhale. As you exhale, lead with chin, lead with chest, find a forward fold. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, plant those hands and find a seated position. We're gonna find our boat pose. So coming on to those sit bones, start with the soles of the feet to the earth. Great place to be right here. Hands can come behind the thighs. Lean back into the, lean back. And then if you want a little more, maybe you start to come up onto those heels. Engage that core. Maybe you float those shins, bringing them parallel to the earth. If you got it, palms face the ceiling, reaching those arms out in front of you. Nice work, guys. Navel towards spine, lifting through the sternum. You breathe. Give me one more full breath in. Full breath out. Gently lowering the soles of the feet back to the earth. Wrap those hands around the shins and just find a nice tall spine here. Head is over heart, heart is over pelvis. Gorgeous. And then from here, we'll come into a seated twist. Extend that right leg long. Take that left foot, cross it over that right thigh. Find that nice tall spine. Right arm comes alongside right ear on an inhale. As you exhale, that right elbow catches that left knee. Look over that left shoulder. Always the option to take that right hand around that left thigh as well. And breathe here with that nice tall spine. Using those exhales to deepen you into this twist. One last breath here. On your next inhale, gently unwind and let's switch that out. Extend that left leg long, bending into that right knee. Right foot crosses over left thigh. Plant the right sole of the foot. Find that nice tall spine. Lengthen that left arm alongside left ear on an inhale. As you exhale, that left elbow catches that right knee. Look over right shoulder, head over heart, heart over pelvis. You can always wrap that left arm around that right thigh as you look over that right shoulder. Breathing here, enjoying this twist. In through the nose and out through the nose. On that next inhale, gently unwind. And then release that right sole foot and extend that right leg out. Nice work, guys. We'll come into a cow face pose. So maybe you want to find a nice, easy seat here, crossing at the ankles, nice tall spine. We'll bend into that left elbow and take a tricep extension first. So take that right hand up and over to that left elbow. Press it, feel that nice stretch. And if you're dealing with shoulder issues, you might want to stay here. Otherwise, grabbing onto that strap in the right hand and then reaching it back. Left hand grabs the strap and then you breathe here. Opening up through the shoulders, finding that nice tall spine. Let's take one more breath. And gently release. Nice job, guys. Let's take that on the other side, but first we'll switch the crossing of our ankles. Hands come to the sides, switch that crossing, and then let's bend into that right elbow. Left hand comes on top, and then feel that nice tricep stretch. And again, if you're dealing with shoulder injury, you stay right here. But if you like, Left hand comes up and around. Maybe it can grab those right fingertips, or you use that strap to give you that extra help here. Keeping that spine nice and tall and breathing. One more breath. And gently release. Nice work, guys. Moving that strap off to the side. And then we're going to take it down onto our back. However you'd like to get there. Nice and easy, slow and steady. Coming down onto your back. And then we'll bend through the knees, soles of feet to the earth. Those feet are hip-width distance, 1 foot's length away from our sit bones, coming back into our bridge pose. This round, you have an option to find those robot arms, pressing the back of the arms into the mat, or just keeping those arms alongside the body. On your next inhale, start to lift those hips, squeeze those glutes. And then as you exhale, holding here, weights on the back of those arms, upper shoulders. If it's in your practice for a bind, you have the option to interlace the hands under the hips. Walk those knuckles towards the heels, maybe bringing those shoulder blades closer together as you lift that chest closer to the chin, opening up through the whole front side body. Taking those nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking 3 more breaths on your own. Nice work, guys. If you do have that bind, gently release it. And then everybody take it on down, 1 vertebra at a time until the hips come down last. Extend those arms if you still have them in robot. Let's begin our cool down. Bringing that right knee in towards the chest, giving it a nice squeeze and holding here, feeling that compression on that right side body. Few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And from here, we'll find our figure 4. So start to bend into that left knee, left sole foot to the earth. Place that right ankle on top of left knee, finding that figure 4 shape. Flex through that right foot and then press that right knee away. And just notice how that hip is feeling. If you're looking for more here, interlace the hands around that left thigh, pull in towards the chest, keeping both the feet flexed here. Lower back is flat to the mat. You can also use that elbow to press that right knee open up, to open that right hip up just a little more. And just breathe here. One last breath. And gently lowering that left sole foot to the earth. Bring that right knee back in towards the chest, and then let that left leg go long. Extend that right leg towards the ceiling. And then just take a moment here to point and flex the foot. Maybe circle through that ankle. And we'll find a hamstring stretch. So flexing through that right foot, reaching behind the calf or thigh, or there's also the option to use a strap around the bottom of the foot. Draw that leg in towards the chest and feel a nice lengthening for the back of that right leg. One more breath here. Let's bend back into that right knee and find a twist. Guide that right knee to the left side mat. Arms can open to a T or cactus. Shoulders stay grounded here as you find this nice reclined twist. If the neck is feeling really good, drop that gaze over to the right shoulder and breathe. On that next inhale, rolling onto the back, that right knee squeezes in towards the chest, and then let that right leg go long. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Give it a squeeze, feeling that front side compression, and breathe here. Finding that figure four, we'll bend into that right knee, right sole foot to the earth. Left ankle on top of that right knee. Press that left knee away and just notice what you feel here in that left hip. And if you're looking for more, interlacing hands around that right thigh, pulling that thigh in towards the chest as both those feet stay flexed. Maybe using that left elbow to press into that left knee, opening into that left hip a little more. And breathe here. One last breath. Lowering that right sole foot to the earth. Give that left knee a squeeze in towards the chest. Right leg extends long, and then extend that left leg towards the ceiling. Start by pointing and flexing the foot, circling through that ankle. And then that foot stays flexed, hands reach behind the calf or thigh, or strap is also an option as we pull that leg in towards the chest to get that hamstring stretch. Can always keep a micro bend in the knee if needed, and breathe here. One more breath. Bend back into that left knee, give it a squeeze in towards the chest, and then guide that left knee to the right side mat. Bring those arms to a T or cactus. Shoulders stay grounded. Get a nice stretch in that outer left hip and glute. One more breath. Left knee comes back in towards the chest. Give it a squeeze. And then let that left leg go long. Arms come alongside the body, palms face the ceiling, finding that resting pose. This is what you've worked so hard for. Allow your body to absorb the benefits of your practice, letting go of the breath, relaxing the mind, relaxing the body, knowing you have nowhere else to be but here. Staying here and breathing in this resting pose for a few more minutes if you'd like. Thank you for taking time for your help today. On behalf of Healium Hot Yoga, Tendril Yoga, and West Allis Fire Department, amazing job. Remember to check out the other videos in this series or come visit us live at the Healium studio. We look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon. Be well.